I will be a good boy today.
Wait a second. Wait a sec. Alan, do you hear something?
Yeah, there's someone at the door.
There's someone at the door. Who could it be? Hey, Script Doctor.
Hey.
You stop now.
Sorry, once you stop, you just can't. You just can't stop.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, I'm just here to help spread some Christmas cheer on what some people call Christmas Adam today, because tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
Nice.
But I want to talk about something, the top takeaways of 2022. 2022 was an interesting year, a year of change. And I think that what I want to hear from everybody is kind of what your top takeaway for the year is for 2022. What did we learn? You could talk about anything. You talk about Disney Plus series. You could talk about Star Wars, Marvel films. You could just talk about anything related to the industry. What is your top takeaway? And who wants to go first? Because I have a takeaway for sure.
I have a number of takeaways. I'm just got to ponder for a moment which one would be most entertaining and not too personal.
Well, you could. My big takeaway is Hollywood has the data. Hollywood is about to go through. A friend of mine said that it's going to be like the French Revolution. It's going to be crazy the next 6 months, because you're looking at writer's strike. You're looking at people are just buying up scripts left and right just to have something to be able to get into production. You're also looking at things coming to the realization that things are not making money. Things are not making money. And that is revealed quite easily when you look at the box office for the year. For the movies that underperformed, the thing most of them had in common was putting agenda before storytelling. And the movies that didn't do that, your Top Gun Mavericks, and your Avatar: The Way of Water, performed, or at least were more beloved by audiences. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. They were more beloved by audiences. And what I think it's really up to Hollywood. Do you want to look at this data and come to a conclusion about going forward? Or are you going to, ignore this data and then, just continue on the pathway to more shows being shut down, audiences being dissatisfied? That's my top takeaway is Hollywood, you have the data now to make the decisions. You don't have to be influenced by underlings trying to push some activism into your film. You can move forward and say, look, this is what the data is. This is what the audience is telling us. They vote by spending money, and they're not spending money on certain movies. They're spending money on other movies. We now have this information. That's my big takeaway of 2022 is use this data toward some goal, or at least being profitable, because Hollywood was traditionally one of the biggest exports of the United States to other countries. And now they don't want our movies. So literally half, from the before times, Hollywood is making half of what it used to. That's a huge drop. And that's going to mean a lot of layoffs and a lot of pain over the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, you're expecting Hollywood to learn their lesson?
Yeah, no, I'm not. And just for everybody, same question. What's your top takeaway?
Yeah, I'll go. My top takeaway this year is Hollywood forgot how to write good stories, or how to tell good stories. For some reason, and it really feels this way, but there's this feeling that, the past, the great classics of the past no longer apply today. And that for some reason, some enlightened person or some enlightened group of people feel like, no, that's the old way was misogynist, was racist, was every ist you can imagine. And so we are going to usher in a new style of storytelling. And what you find is it's bland. It has, there's no juice behind it. And it doesn't connect with us in a way of this idea that we are all people on this journey. We have struggles in life. We have things that we're trying to overcome. But if we just, follow, if we just kind of bend the knee and follow the mind think that the world's bringing us, that these are the stories we want. And so you know, I just feel like I don't know what this generation of scriptwriters, of filmmakers, of actors, why they're so afraid of telling stories, structuring it like the stories of the past, you know, trying to connect with people and trying to give a little bit of hope once in a while. So, and I'm not sure that 2023 is going to be any better.
Script, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on this, especially on this topic.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, there are tons of great scripts floating around in Hollywood. They're just not a lot of people that want to buy those great scripts because they don't fit the agenda, and two, they're getting the financing based on the agenda. And that's kind of the big crux of it. We don't have as many big time producers that are buying and pushing the scripts that are traditional, and not necessarily traditional with regards to like general values or derivative nature, but like, you know, a reliable, strong format that does good service that makes people want to leave the theaters happy. I've mentioned this on other streams before, but I think the 2020s are a direct parallel to the film market of the 1970s. We had a lot of big budget films. Studios were struggling. They were getting bought out by other companies. They weren't making great movies. We had a lot of dark themed films, depressing themed films. And that kind of, we got our first hint of a great movie in the 70s with The Godfather in 72. And then it slowly built up from there. And I think we kind of have the same parallel here with Paramount again with Top Gun Maverick.
Is someone calling you, Chris?
I think someone's at the door. Who could it be? Hey, it's Anna, that Star Wars girl. What are you doing?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hey, what's happening?
I'm dying of the plague. How are you?
Are you sick?
Yeah, I got tonsillitis.
Yikes.
Oh,
Wow.
I know, totally. That was a very Christmassy topic. By the way, I hate The Godfather. I think that movie is terrible, and if I could Thanos snap it out of existence, I would.
It was great having Anna on the show. I'm kidding. No, you're welcome to like or dislike.
I don't like gangster movies, so that's why.
All right, well,
Not
that's
my
okay.
genre.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. Yeah, what are like, Anna, what are your thoughts on like the year and like what have we learned? You know, oh, you're muted, Anna.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't think anyone learned anything. I think it's just more pushing content because there still isn't really anything that's that good. Like everyone praises Top Gun Maverick, but I mean, it was very, very safe. Like they didn't even say what the country was that, you know, they were going to, the bad guys. They never went by the name of the country. I think that was extremely safe. And it was very predictable. I mean, I did enjoy it, but I think we're not getting anything like we used to. Like nobody's taking any risks.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, I think Cameron's taking something of a risk. I'm going to make 4 more Avatar movies. We'll see if it's successful or not. And
I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen.
No,
He might get 1 more movie. He's not getting 4 more movies out of this.
But I mean, the 3rd one's already shot, and then they've already shot the first act of the 4th Avatar.
Yeah.
So I think they're already going down that road.
This is a big gamble for whoever this studio is.
You know what? Well, I don't know. I was going to say I'm looking forward to Sundance, and then I saw some of their lineup. It's not great. We'll probably talk about it. Next week.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it.
Really quick though, if I were to just chime in on the biggest takeaway from this year,
please.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this year Hollywood realized they bet on the wrong horse. I think they're starting to finally realize that listening to Twitter isn't going to help them. It's not going to help their bottom line. It's not going to help put asses in seats. They bet on the wrong horse. And I think this year they finally realized it. I think next year we're going to see a different crop of movies. Who knows? I mean, I don't know who's in charge of these studios. I don't know how, you know, quote unquote woke they are. But I think we're going to see a different shift in movies next year.
Oh, wait, someone's at the door.
Aggressively hitting the door.
Wait, is this bit even working? Is it working? Like, hey, someone's at the door. Hey, someone's at the door, people. Live streams don't have doors. Hey, there's two people at the door. Look at these two that showed up.
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, right?
Oh dear God.
Ryan Kinel
Hey.
and Reina Creole. Hey.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning, folks.
What's going on, everybody? It's afternoon for me, which means I'm actually allowed to drink beer, so we're all good. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. I'm drinking a little eggnog. A little eggnog in a Film Threat pint glass. And it's disgusting. Oh wait. We were just talking about what are the top takeaways of this year? Like, what have we learned, or what has Hollywood learned? Like, and is all this nonsense going to continue that we keep pointing out?
Well, I think what Hollywood should have learned versus what they did are two different stories. I think what they should have learned is that audiences are ready to go back to very like traditional storytelling, basic storytelling about masculine men, feminine women, families, traditional values. What they probably ended up learning was, well, maybe we just didn't go gay enough. That might be what they learned. So.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what Disney learned. What are your thoughts, Lorena?
I believe Hollywood still has a lot to learn. And one of the reasons I bring that up is a movie that did not get nominated for an Oscar, and it should have, and that is RRR.
Yeah, it's not even on the short list even.
Not even on the short list. Local film festivals and critics have given it awards, but Hollywood is just like, nah, sorry, nah. I don't
this movie. What is it?
I don't hear you. Oh,
Wait.
RRR. You haven't heard about RRR?
Anna.
How did you get without him mentioning it?
Yeah.
I've hung out with Chris so many times this year, and he's never mentioned this movie, so it's his fault.
It's my fault.
Shame on you, Chris. Shame on you.
Well, Lorena, and your channel has blown up from all the coverage of Indian movies. You really leaned into that.
Yes.
And there's so much good stuff. I can't believe you haven't heard of RRR. It's on Netflix. Just look up RRR. It's
what kind of movie is it?
I gotta watch it. It's an Indian movie. It's an action movie.
Is it Bollywood?
No,
not at all.
No. This is the common mistake that people make, and I had to learn about this. The Indian movie industry has several different layers. The most common is Bollywood, which I have zero interest whatsoever. I don't think it's realistic. Then you have Tollywood, which is what RRR is. Crazy action, amazing stories. With RRR, it is the most masculine story that you will see about family, about brotherhood, about community, about nationality, about revolution. Men are men, women are women. It's the kind of movie that Hollywood used to give us, I would say, circa 1960s to 1980s. And if you watch this film, you will see callbacks to so many famous filmmakers like Scorsese, Spielberg, so many of them that you'll see. And SS Rajamouli deserves all the props he can get. Not only do you have Tollywood, but you also have Canada Films, which is like the examples of the KGF 1 and 2. That is literally Scarface in India. I kid you not. I freaking kid you not. Is
this in English?
Amazing.
No, it's in
the local languages, but there are English subtitles.
Someone's at the door. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep
banging pretty aggressively, actually.
Someone's at the door. Live streams don't even have doors. Who could it be?
Stop knocking.
Ass. Hey, how's it going, man?
He's muted.
He's muted,
dude.
He might just be hanging out. He'll be back. I know he will. Will.
One theme in RR you didn't mention kind of is patriotism. It's love for one's country.
You can't have that here.
Yeah, I did. I said
you can't have that in America.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, nationalism.
Actually, okay, yeah.
Bad in
It's
America.
been nominated. I'm on its Wikipedia, and it's like all of the awards. Like you just scroll for an entire page.
Well, there's a lot, but not the Oscars. It has
Nobody
not been
cares about the
shortlisted.
Oscars anymore.
No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares, especially with Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't know if I'd say that no one cares. However, considering how much of an echo chamber the Oscars is, the fact that it got snubbed is an issue. Because remember, movies like Do the Right Thing got snubbed by the Oscars.
What's that?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee movie.
Spike Lee.
Oh, I don't like his movies. I know.
Oh well, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. However,
He also doesn't like The Godfather, so
Yeah.
that's all right. That's all right. I don't like Avatar, and I'll stick by that. Actually, no, RRR is available with an English dub on Netflix now. Although I highly suggest watching it in the original Telugu and reading the English subtitles. It's great.
You'd think that they would that Hollywood would have been all about it because, you know, a lot of the white people got attacked in that movie. They got killed. You mean you'd think that Hollywood would be cool with that, but for some reason, no.
Nah, they didn't like it. Too many brown people not being victims. That's the other thing. You have what's going on. With Hollywood.
Now I guarantee you, if RR was a slave movie, it would have.
Oh, they'd be all freaking all over that.
Everything, right?
Unless Will Smith was starring in it, then it wouldn't. But,
right.
Hard pass on that.
So we're talking about top ways of 2022. If anyone has some, now that we've sort of looked at the year in entertainment,
and
it's not been good. It's not been good.
Yeah, I had a couple things to say.
Yeah, please.
Hollywood is still racist and ignorant. Fuck them.
Well,
he's not wrong.
I'm sorry, it's a Christmas party.
Sorry, too late now, dude. Too late.
I think the way that they go about things just seems really stupid. Like,
well, for me, Chris, I finally realized and come to the conclusion that race swapping, just whatever you want to call it, it's not, you know, it's not even ethnic. It just doesn't work. It's just a bad idea. There's plenty of stories that exist, and we already talked about this. There's plenty of stories that already exist. They're written there. Then there's original stories that scripts that are already out there, like Script Doctor says. Creativity is everywhere. It's just that the people, that greenlight shit, they're very uncreative. And then when there is an interesting idea, it completely comes off as a throwback to 50 years ago of how certain people are portrayed. And then you screw with something like a Namor, like the Submariner, which is such an amazing comic book character that it's a complete catastrophe. As a catastrophe, that was a catastrophe, man. And
but Wakanda's ass smells so much better than everyone else's.
His what? His ass?
Air.
His air.
The air is so much cleaner here. And he's just like, don't you spend most of your time underwater? So,
how did you cross the river?